I'm gonna show you 3 different ways to release lats and teres so that you can have some different tools in your toolbox. You're going to want a foam roller, preferably a kind of squishier foam roller, a foam roller that's a little bit soft. You're gonna want a yoga block. I'm gonna show you how to use a yoga block to release even a little bit of pecs at the same time. And you're gonna want a soft ball and a blanket. So you're gonna need those 4 things. If you don't have a blanket, just grab a towel, something like that, something to cushion that yoga block. So I'm gonna show you first on your foam roller. Put these off to the side. You're gonna get on your foam roller and you're going to get down on one side. Now, Latissimus holds its tension right near that bottom corner of the shoulder blade. So here is the bottom corner of my shoulder blade, and then here is my lats. And if I walk out into that last little section, I could even just squeeze it, and it's tender. I can feel that that's a really exciting spot. And this muscle, this part of this muscle can radiate down. It can feel like ulnar nerve entrapment. It can radiate down the outer edge of your arm, even all the way down to your outer fingers, the pinky and the ring finger. So we definitely want to get rid of that radiating numbness, tingling, pain, whatever. And at the same time, free the whole shoulder. So I'm going to lay down. You'll see that there's space in between my foam roller and my armpit. I can feel as I roll back, there it is. I'm getting a little bit, it gets a little bit more exciting as I drop that top shoulder back. So I'm just rocking forward and back with the top shoulder. Ooh, Latissimus. And then when I feel that I'm like right on that real special spot, I'm gonna hang out there for a few breaths. If it's hard, if you're struggling holding up your head, you could just support your head in your hand. That just really feels so much better. Now I'm just gonna glide that foam roller up a little bit, and I'm gonna start rocking forward and back again with the top shoulder. So good. And right along that outer edge, about halfway up the shoulder blade, is teres major. And teres major can also refer down the outer arm, and it tends to be a pretty tender spot, kind of like a mother lode spot. Sometimes it's a little harder to find with the broad surface of the foam roller. So we're gonna find it really well with the yoga block in just a moment. It's often really good to start with a little bit of a softer pressure. Get right there. And sink in, take a breath. And then you can kind of roll up and down along that back edge of the shoulder blade. So good. So on your side, working lower part of that back of the armpit, lats and teres, and working up that back section of the armpit with your foam roller. Now, the next way that I'm going to show you is using a yoga block itself, just a block. And basically we're gonna use these edges of the block to compress into, you can do pecs this way too. I'm gonna focus on using this for lats and teres. So you're gonna put your block down on the floor. I highly recommend that you take a blanket and lay it over, because those edges of the block are pretty intense, right? And so now you're going to just lay over that yoga block, just like that. And then as you roll forward, your pecs drive into that front edge of the block. And then as you roll back, lats and teres drive into that front edge of the block. So I wanna notice, I wanna feel it right at the bottom corner of the shoulder blade. That's where the main trigger point is in Latissimus. That's the trigger point that can make it ache even under your shoulder blade, where it feels like the pain is under the shoulder blade, and can also radiate down that back of the arm. Ooh, and this is a little bit more specific than that foam roller was, so a little bit more exciting. I'm gonna sink into that spot. Take a breath. You won't always feel the points release. What you're doing is getting some information from your body and sending a little bit of an interrupting message like, okay, body, you've been holding this tension, causing me pain, let's let that go. So rocking a little bit forward and back feels better, feels better. And then I'm gonna slide down, body slides down, so that front edge of the block now is a little higher up along my shoulder blade, and I rock back, and then I rock forward. I can really sink in if I wanna get into that, the pecs that way. And then as I rock back, I'm getting Teres major. Now with this, as opposed to the foam roller, I'm getting much more specific pressure in Teres major. And it's gonna take a couple of breaths here. And it feels good, it's not too intense. I'm just always like, breathing, letting go of tension. So it's not really terribly intense. I can feel it's an important spot, and that's what you're looking for, those places that just feel really important and exquisite in your body. Take another breath. And that's it. We just need to get that bottom tip of the shoulder blade and then up about halfway along the shoulder blade. And I always like to do a little bit more rocking. Feels so good. All right, now version number 3. I'm gonna switch back to my other side. For this part, I'm going to show you how to use this soft ball to get into the lats and teres with the blocks. We're gonna place that block down like this, and we're gonna put the ball right on top of it. And then remember, we wanna start down low at that bottom corner of the shoulder blade. And then with this, you can actually kind of rock your body a little bit. I really like this version of this release. This is my favorite version because I can choose how much of my body weight I sink down, or I can kind of stay lifted up a little bit. And I have a little bit more mobility, more than I have on the foam roller. So I'm just rocking back and forth. I can really kind of grab the lats and teres, staying down on that bottom corner of the shoulder blade. There I can find real specifically my spot. Now my top shoulder has dropped back just a little bit because I want to make sure that I'm at the back of the armpit, and I find that edge of lats. And then we're gonna move the ball up, move the body down a little bit, get up about halfway. I can really feel that I'm right at the edge of the shoulder blade, and I'm kind of rolling forward and back on it. With the ball, it's more about moving the upper body than rolling the shoulder. On the foam roller and the block, you have to kind of tilt and move your body. But the ball, I can rock my body forward and back. So it's not just about moving that top shoulder. I'm rocking my body forward and back, getting right along that edge, about halfway up that shoulder blade outer edge. Couple of breaths. Whoa, great. And I'm gonna move off that ball. And then it's always a good idea after you do rolling to do a little bit of movement of the muscles. So lats and teres pull your arms down and an internal rotation, right? They're partly your tree climbing muscles. So any kind of like movement with rotating the shoulders in the sockets, sweeping the arms in circles, that's gonna help integrate that new information. Then you can take your arms back, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other, and just get a little opening in those shoulders. Your shoulders should feel much freer now. So pick your favorite version of releasing the lats and teres, and I hope this serves you. I'm Kat Matlock here at FreeBody. Thanks so much for joining.